And I've mentioned this in my previous video about how people are indecisive. And I've explained why people are indecisive. Um, if you haven't watched my previous video, indecision comes from being too much in your mind and not in your heart. And a lot of people have blocked themselves off from feeling, you know? Well, first of all, we haven't really been taught how to feel, have we? It's all about like your IQ and your ability to problem solve and dissect data and analyze it, right? Isn't that what we've been kind of programmed to do, socially conditioned to do? Yeah, but no, I mean, nobody has really sat you down. I mean, we're getting better at it currently, but nobody has really sat you down and like helped you to explore the emotional realm of yourself. And I feel like because most people have been conditioned to make decisions from this, they become very disconnected from this. And this is so essential. Your heart. Your heart knows, you know? But I've come across people who aren't sure. And this kind of baffles me. But I understand. How can you not be sure about a sure thing? How can you not be sure about something that's good for you? You know? Like for me, like this is a really prime example. If I walk into a store and I scan all the items in the store, most of it doesn't draw me in. But then there'll be this one thing that draws me in, and that's how I know. Like, that's good for me. Or that's an energetic match for me. So I should probably invest in that. This also applies to people. Interestingly enough, though, even though like I'm sure about people, they're not sure about me. And it's funny, I had to go through different phases, and it's just like, first of all, the feeling of rejection, that brings up a lot of pain. And then just realizing that this person isn't sure about a sure thing. And I'm not trying to be arrogant here. It's just I've done so much inner work, and I've cleared out so much baggage that I think I'm a pretty solid person. Like I think I would be a solid person in someone's life. Because I have everyone's best interest in mind. And I've kind of, how do I say, altered that belief system. I include myself in the equation now. Like, is this good for me and you? Before it was like, oh, is this good for you? I will sacrifice whatever I need to make you happy. Now it's like, no, is this good for me and you? Not just me, not just you, for both of us. Is it good for both of us? If it's not, then that's something that I would probably, take a step back to analyze and consider my feelings. See, and that's the thing about me. It's like, and I think that's the thing about INFJs. Not only do we have the capacity to think, we also have the capacity to feel. So we can do both. And that's the blessing, guys. You feel like living is a curse. You've been granted the best of two worlds. Because I think some people are more logically inclined, some people are more feeling inclined. We can do both. So that's how I know that when I make a decision, I'm sure. I've kind of limited decision making from my mind, and now I'm doing it more from my heart, because I do really feel like your heart is your inner compass, and your heart will never steer you wrong, and your heart knows what's best for you and everyone else. You know, mind is likes to dissect things and separate things and divide things, whereas the heart includes everything. Right? I think you know that that's true. So if somebody isn't sure about you, and this is going into relationships, then I think you need to walk away, you know? Because your heart, bless your heart, bless our hearts, it just loves everything. It wants the best for everyone. And sometimes it'll keep you in situations. Actually, no, I think the mind keeps you in situations. Your ego keeps you in situations that are no longer good for you. And so a lot of times you just need to walk away. You know, walk away from things and people and situations and environments that aren't good for you. And I've learned that even though you walk away, you can still love from a distance. You know? Like, I don't know, if people aren't sure about a sure thing, then, because think about it, like, say you were facing someone and you guys were making a decision to commit to one another, you would either be sure or you would be not sure, like, ooh, I don't know, let me think about it. You know, it's like, if something is right for you, you're sure, you know? It's like when I go to a restaurant, you know, like, without having to really think too much on it, I'll look at the items on the menu, and my body and my heart will be sure on what would be best for me to consume. You know, you can tell, listen to your body, you know, get out of your head, listen to your body, listen to your heart. You know, a lot of people have a blocked heart chakra. What does that mean? So we have energy centers running through our body, and the heart chakra is one of them. It's an energy center. Think of a spinning wheel. So if it's balanced, it's spinning like pretty like effortlessly. But when it's blocked, it just kind of like is kind of stuck. And yeah, you know, INFJs have encountered our fair share of pain. But I think to unblock your heart chakra, you have to realize that the pain is a catalyst for change. It shouldn't stifle you or keep you in place. It should help you to open up more, to embrace things more, you know. And pain can pain and fear will have you doing one of three things. You know, it's fight, flight, or freeze. You know, fight, flight, or freeze. So somebody with a blocked heart chakra will probably just stay in place. You know, they'll just armor up and put walls up and limit their ability to feel. But then you're blocking your compass. So how are you going to know what's right for you? Especially if you're operating from this, you know? I think it's about like making this, and I made videos on this. This and this be friends, you know? Just have to move through pain, guys. This is a stupid analogy, but a pregnant woman, she's in the delivery room. And I've never given birth to a baby, but I'm based off of what people have told me and based off of things I've seen, it looks very painful. It looks like a very painful process. Can you imagine if this woman was like, this is painful, I don't want to do this, I'm going to stop, and then she just stops the baby from being born? Same with life. You can't just, you can, do I have to explain it? You have to move through it. You have to let it pass through you. You have to move through it in order to become who you are, in order to hear what your heart is saying, in order to feel everything that you're supposed to be feeling. And yeah, a lot of it is uncomfortable, but it's unfortunate. We are on, or is it unfortunate? We chose to be here. We are on this dimension of life, and this is how we learn our lessons, is through the pain, you know. I'm sure when we go through other dimensions, we learn things and we don't have to encounter pain, but in this dimension that we are currently on, we need to push past pain. We need to push past fear in order to be reborn, in order to be more of ourselves. You know, it's funny, this past year, I allowed myself to just feel everything and move through everything. I feel like I've experienced 30 years of life in a year. That's a lot of growth. That's a lot. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of resilience and willpower and determination to move through life, through that much life. Think about it. And there's people who live 80 years and they've only really lived maybe 5 years of life because they haven't really changed anything. They haven't really opened themselves up to experiencing more. They haven't really lived from their heart. They've just kind of allowed themselves to be stuck in place, to run on a hamster wheel and recycle on the cycles. They're not even breaking cycles. They're just doing this. You know, it's about breaking it, getting out, breaking it, getting out. And that's how you like expand yourself. That's how you become more of who you are. Because every time you break a cycle, you're releasing shackles, ancestral shackles, you know, shackles you've created for yourself. I have no idea if I'm making sense, but I'm gonna put this video out there anyway, because who cares? If people like get it and it helps, cool. If not, then it doesn't hurt anyone to put the information out there. Anyways, blessings to one and all. Have a beautiful day. Take care of your heart. It will never steer you wrong. And it doesn't yell. You know the mind. It's like yelling at you, making you confused. The heart is very quiet and calm, like a whisper, like a gentle voice and a gentle nudge. You know, it's not trying to force you to do anything. It's the mind, right? The mind forces. The mind has to use force. And the heart uses gentleness and grace. So think about that as you proceed through life, you know? All right. Take care.